Good evening, and welcome to my Siyum of the Rambam's Hachaszaka. I'd like to begin the Siyum with a few words regarding the fact that I'm standing up here and speaking in English. Okay, this is actually the first family simcha of any sort at which I will be making a speech entirely in English. Anyone who's been at any of our family smachot knows that almost all of our speeches in Divrei Torah have been in Hebrew. This is for a very good reason. It's not just that Hebrew is the common language spoken here in Eretz Yisrael. I had a madrich in Camp Mosheva when I was 15 and 16. Today, he's known as Harav Ari Shvat, actually, taught me that it's a mitzvah to speak Hebrew. Honestly, until recently, I never checked this out, but accepted it as a given. It was just there in my mind, always. I felt that we've come back after 2,000 years in Galut, and our language should be Lashon HaKodesh. Of course, being that I was born in Galut, America, and English came more naturally as it does to those that close to me, as you can all witness here. My personal compromise and thought was that in a public domain, when I'm in shul or at smachot, Hebrew should and would be the language in which I would give my speeches. Then, about 13 years ago, came my parents' 40th anniversary, where I, of course, did speak Hebrew. One of our family friends, close friend of the families, Rav Chaim Drukman, came. He's my Rosh Hashiva, my brother Effie's Rosh Hashiva in high school. He came and gave the Dvar Torah, obviously also in Hebrew. But how he began his Dvar Torah, actually, it sort of, I would say, blew me away. I can't remember his exact words, but I'll do my best just to remain true to his idea. Rav Drukman began by saying that he's sitting at a party and all he hears is English. I thought to myself, oh boy, here it comes. But, no. Rav Drukman continued and said how wonderful this is. My thought was, Rav Drukman? What? I mean, a Talmud of his, Rav Ari Shvat, said it's a mitzvah to speak Hebrew, so what's so great about speaking English? So I knew also that when Ari used to meet up with people, his former chanichim or chanichot, he used to meet them in the street or something, start speaking to them in English. The second he found out that they had come on Aliyah, he immediately switched to Hebrew and stopped speaking to them in English. And I'm sitting there, and Rav Drukman is proud of this, speaking English. So those who know Rav Drukman also know that he managed to see how the Gula is unfolding in front of our very eyes regarding everything. Rav Drukman went on to explain that we're living in one of the greatest of times. We're living in the times of the Gula and Kibbutz Galuyot. Kibbutz Galuyot means that Jews from all over the world are coming home to Eretz Yisrael. All of us native English speakers have finally come home, and the fact that even in Eretz Yisrael we hear a foreign language is a testament to the times of our greatness. Several months ago, I bought a copy of Rav Ari Shvat's book, here. It's called Larim et HaDegel, Raise the Flag. The first section of the book discusses the biblical and halachic ramifications of our Jewish-Israeli flag. The second section of the book is paraphrased called Laharim et HaSafa Ivrit V'romamtanu Mikol Lashon. Loosely translates, to raise the Hebrew language, we are elevated above all other languages. Rav Shvat opens with a Midrash Halacha from the Sifri. First he explains that a Midrash Halacha is halachic, with halachic ramifications, unlike a Midrash Agadah, which is a story, and Chazal just explain it to us. Maybe explain it to us. So this Midrash Halacha says the following on the pasuk that we say in Shema. V'limadetem otam et bnechem ledaber bam. You shall teach them to your children to speak of them. I'm not going to read the Sifri in Hebrew, but it's basically, they say, from this we learn that when a baby begins to speak, his father speaks to him in the holy language and teaches him Torah. And if he does not teach him Torah in the holy language, it is as if he is burying him. Just like it says, V'limadetem otam et bnechem, you should teach your sons, children, to speak of them. L'man yirbu yemechem v'imei v'nechem, so that your days and the days of your children may be prolonged. And the maskana of the Sifri is, otherwise, those days will be shortened. From this we learn the mitzvah of speaking Hebrew. The Gra was insistent that he would only speak Hebrew. The Kabbalist, Rav Moshe Cordovero, required his group of Kabbalists only to speak with each other in Hebrew. Rav Shvat then goes on to list another 24 more poskim who say it's a mitzvah to speak in Hebrew. I'm sure many of you are thinking, well, if this is the case, and Yeshua is definitely making the case for speaking only Hebrew, right? How is it that he's not speaking in English, right? So I can start by answering that one of the poskim Rav Shvat brings down is Rav Moshe Feinstein. in his Zigrot Moshe, Even Ezer. He says, this I'll say in Hebrew and then translate it, Mikol makom eno isur ledaber lashon am zar. Daha kol Yisrael medarbim belashon chol shel haumot mizman shegalinu b'chataenu bein haumot. It's not prohibited to speak another language of an amzar, of a foreign nation, since all Israelites speak lashon chol, the secular language of the nations to which we were exiled, and other nations due to our sins. Each and every day, I thank Hashem that the second part of what Rav Moshe stated, that we were exiled, is actually tapering off, and we're now finally coming home back to Eretz Yisrael. We can see this happening before our very eyes. The exile is ending. It's up to us to make this happen. Even so, currently, English is still a big part of our lives. As I was looking at the list of people who will be attending the Siyum, I realized that almost everyone here right now grew up speaking English and might actually be more comfortable listening to the Dvar Torah in English. We, all of us here, are living the dream. Hayinu kecholmim, of the Jewish people, who were scattered throughout the world for 2,000 years. And now we are witnessing Kibbutz Galuyot, the ingathering of the exiles, unfolding before our very eyes. It's the time of Reshit Smichad Geulatenu. So even speaking English, in order to teach our words of Torah, has its merits and can continue to uplift our spirit just as it did for Rav Drukman. A siyum is generally done by learning the final words of the end of the sefer or sfarim that one has just studied and concluded. In my case, approximately 1,000 days ago, I began Sefer Kinyan of the Rambam, ownership translated, which is the 12th of 14 of his sfarim, of the Mishne Torah, otherwise known as the Yad Hachaszaka. It's called Yad Hachaszaka because Yad in Gematria is 14. Yud is 10, Dalet is 4, together it's 14. He has 14 books, Yad Hachaszaka. Since I joined the program of studying the daily Rambam with the 12th Sefer, which is called Kinyan, ownership, my Siyum should actually be on the 11th Sefer, which is called Nezakim, which we finished about a week and a half ago. As I was just thinking about which one to end with, the 11th, the 14th, which is generally done, the 14th, people do the end, like I said, I then thought, why not do a bit of both? Great idea, right? Everybody agrees. But then, don't forget, I've been thinking about this almost for 3 years. What's going to happen in 3 years' time, right? So I finally decided that the best approach, actually, to this Siyum tonight would be to start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. Chochma bagoyim ta'amim. So these are, of course, the words of wisdom by Richard Rogers in the epical musical Sound of Music. So where is this beginning? Okay. Well, this, of course, would be the first book that the Rambam of his set, which is of Mishne Torah, is called Sefer Hamada, the knowledge, with an emphasis on the word the, which in Hebrew is known Hey Hayidiyah, Hamada, the definitive Hey. This Hey gives exclusivity to the words that follow. The knowledge, the knowledge, the knowledge. There's no other knowledge. The Rambam's other svarim in his set of Mishne Torah do not have this Hey Hayidiyah, the definitive Hey. The last sefer of the series, for example, is called Shoftim. Not Sefer HaShoftim, but Shoftim, judges. Rav Nachum Eliezer Rabinovich, my Rosh Hashiva, in his commentary Yad Pshuta on the Yad Hachaszaka of the Rambam, explains in his introduction that the name is Sefer Hamada because of the just like the pasuk in Divrei Hayamim, which states HaChochma v'Hamada, not Chochma v'Hamada, HaChochma v'Hamada natun lach. The wisdom and the knowledge is given to you with the Hey Hayidiyah. The Parshanim explained that the Hey emphasized that this is the knowledge that is first and foremost of all other knowledge, and all people must know this. In his Sefer Moran Vachim, God for the Perplexed, the Rambam explains that the closest you can come to Hashem is only when you actually know Hashem. Yeda, knowledge, Mada, is also knowledge, they have the same root. Thus, one can know Hashem by learning and practice what he has learned in Sefer Hamada. The Rambam begins Sefer Hamada with the pasuk from Tehillim as follows: Mishoch chastecha liyodecha v'tzidchatcha liyishrei lev. Extend your kindness to those who know you, and your charity to the upright of heart. David HaMelech in Tehillim prays and asks that Hashem extend his kindness to those who know him. The Rambam is teaching us how to get to know Hashem. This is why he calls his first Sefer book Sefer Hamada, the knowledge. At this time, I'd like to learn with you some of the Mishne Torah, which will bring us to the Siyum. The Rambam actually starts Sefer Hamada introducing us to what is Torah. So, he says the following, the Rambam. Kol ha-mitzvot shenitnu lo leMoshe b'Sinai b'ferushan nitnu. All the mitzvot that we got from Moshe Rabbeinu in Har Sinai were given with their explanation. Shene'emar, ve'etna lecha et luchot ha'evin v'atorah v'amitzvot. And I will give you the tablets of stone, which are the luchot, which everybody knows. But here it says ha'torah v'amitzvot, two different things, the Torah and the mitzvot. Two different Torahs? No. So the Rambam explains, Torah, zu Torah shebichtav. The Torah that he's talking about is the Torah shebichtav, what we know. We have a Sefer Torah, we look at it, that's the Torah shebichtav. V'amitzvah, zo perusha. The mitzvah, the Torah v'amitzvah, the second word is actually the explanation of the Torah. V'tzivanu, the Rambam continues, la'asot ha'torah al pi ha'mitzvah. And we have to do the Torah according to the explanation, not according to the way we read it, but according to the explanation. Mitzvah zo, hi hanikrei Torah shebal peh. And this mitzvah, which they're referring to, is actually what we call the Torah shebal peh, or the oral law. For example, which we're going to discuss later on, we say in Shema, the third part of Shema, hakanaf petil techelet. What's a kanaf? What's a petil? And what color is techelet? If it's a color, b'chlal. In Pirkei Avot, right, we all know, Moshe kibel Torah misinai, Masara Yoshua, Sholas Kenim. There's a whole list of what happened. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Moshe Rabbeinu the Torah, and he passed it on down orally. Okay, so the Rambam then goes, V'amitzvah, and this Torah Shebal Peh, hi perusha shel Torah, lo ktava ela tziva ba lezkenim. He didn't write it down. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't write it down. He commanded it to the Zkenim, to Yoshua, L'shar Yisrael, shene'emar et kol hadavar asher anachim etzaveh etchem oto tishmeru la'asot. This is what you have to do. He said this. He just said it all orally, and they understood. That's what they did, and that's why it's called Torah Shebal Peh. I'm going to skip, because if I read the whole Sefer Hamada, it won't finish tonight. Now, 1440 years BCE is Yetziat Mitzrayim. 1640 years later, 1,640 years later, is when Rabbeinu HaKadosh put the Mishne together. It finished it, approximately the year 200. So you're talking 1,640 years. It was passed down orally until someone, Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, decided now it's time to write it down. Right? So it says, so as the Rambam says, Rabbeinu HaKadosh chiber HaMishnah, u'miyimot Moshe Rabbeinu, ve'ad Rabbeinu HaKadosh lo chibru chibur shemelamdim oto berabim Torah shebal peh. There was never anything written down. Everything was always orally. Ela, b'chol dor vador, Rosh Yeshiva, Beit Din, all these people, they're very important people, which are mentioned, we'll talk about in a second. They learned from